Howdy, folks. Let me get my phone in the cradle. Come on. There we go. All right, get that straightened out. Hey, how's it going? If you hit like and subscribe. Do a lot of different things here on the channel. Knife stuff, gun stuff. Still got a knife I got to pick up tomorrow. Get to that. But I've been waiting for one of these for a while, and I saw it pop up in inventory up at Georgia Gun Store up in Gainesville. And it was under $300. So I was like, I saw the email come across, say, hey, we got these in stock. I was like, good, I will be over at lunchtime. Hold it for me. So what is it? I've been wanting to get a 22 just because 22s are fun to shoot and cheaper to shoot and stuff like that with ammo prices being where they are. And then there's another reason we'll get into in just a little bit. But what I got was a 22 TX22, and I got the Compact. This is an interesting gun. Now the TX22s, Taurus has come a long way over the years with their quality, innovation, reliability. Yeah, there's still some fuds out there that are like, well, I had this one back in 1999 and it was whatever. Cars have gone through years that weren't that great and then they got their act together, and some that were great no longer are. That's just the way things work. So what we've got is a brand new cleared weapon, both mags empty. And I like that you can see the mags here, kind of like the Ruger has their mags. And I think the Buck Mark might be the same. But you've got these little things you can pull, help load it. You got a little speed loader thing here that should help with that as well. Nice, made for it, so I have to go aftermarket for that. And it looks like these are all plastic and they are reversible. I believe we got the dimple on both sides. I believe that this is reversible. This does not have removable or changeable back straps, but I'm finding the ergonomics pretty much spot on. It does have a manual safety if you want it. It does have a notch in the back with a single white dot sight up front. And it's very light, and it has the plate for mounting optics. Now, I don't know what converter plates. I guess maybe another video we can take that apart, maybe put a red dot or something like that on it. But it is a nice pistol, being that it is a rim fire. I'm not going to do a bunch of dry firing as that is not good for it, and I do not have snap caps. I will do one. Trigger's not awesome, I'm not going to lie. But once you pull up that slack, it actually, from there, it's a little bit heavy, but it is very crisp, but not a lot of over travel. So not a bad trigger at first. I thought when you feel this part, you're like, oh, that's just kind of, once you take it up, then it's just like a stiff mouse click. Click. Let's see. It comes with two 13 round mags. And the takedown is similar to a Glock, but it's almost hidden. It's down here. So you've got a little finger groove, I guess, to index. So if you're holding finger off the trigger, safety, you want your finger, there's a little natural groove right there to fit. It's fairly high cut here. The stippling's not overly aggressive, but I'm fine. A 22 isn't going to have any real recoil, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Feels damn good in the hand. Your finger's just hanging off until you put that in, and it just gives me enough with my XL size hands. I can just get that full grip. That should shoot very nicely. There is no indicator to show you that a round is chambered or that it's cocked. Does not have a decock. It is just a safety. Seems to point very naturally. The trigger feels good. It's pretty lightweight. I don't have the specs in front of me, but that feels like let's see what we got. Hold on, give me 1 second. We'll pull it up. I always forget to do this because I'm so busy setting up the camera thing and all that shit. TX22C. We'll go to Taurus's website. There's some also neat things we're going to talk about here. One of the other reasons why I got it. As far as specs go, 6.7 overall length, 1.25 inches wide. Height is 4.9, barrel is 3.6, and it weighs 16.5 ounces unloaded. So it's not super lightweight. I mean, it feels sort of substantial, almost as heavy as a 9mm, but there's a lot of lightning going on up here in the slide. The reason for that is a 22 doesn't have a lot of recoil. So you don't want a big, heavy slide. It needs to be able to cycle easily and reliable. Very soft spring, but you got 13.1 rounds of 22, which with Federal punch ammo, you know, if you were a female or someone who is more sensitive to recoil, you could shoot that really accurately. And, you know, obviously I'd rather have a, you know, 38 special or a 9mm or 45, 40, 10mm, anything like that, 357. Yeah, those are much more potent calibers and would be more effective in a dangerous situation. But in order for it to be effective, you need to be able to shoot it well. You need to be able to stay on target. And so for some people, you know, they might look at this and go, you know what, that actually makes a pretty defensive pistol. There's some hot 22 rounds now that give decent penetration. They don't make a big hole, but when you go boom, 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 boom and put, you know, half a dozen rounds in a group in the center of mass, you're probably going to come out of it okay. You know, there's not a lot of people that are going to stick around and have a lot of fight left in them. I love being able to put the red dot, which I don't normally do for a carry gun, but that's not my purpose for this. This is just a plinker and stuff like that. However, here's what I may do. I'm going to go get a Holosun and mount up an optic. The other thing that I like about this is that it comes with a threaded barrel. So that end is threaded up inside, and you can remove that. And then what you have is your suppressor adapter. So this will then thread on, and now you have a suppressor host. So I'm gonna go back and get, I think it's the Q, the Sparrow or something like that. They're like 296 bucks. By the time I'm done with sales tax and the tax stamp for the paperwork and all that shit, it costs more than the damn suppressor. But I think what I'm gonna do for this one is I'm gonna put a Holosun, get a red dot optic on it, because I'll need something with, once you put a can on it, you may have trouble seeing the sights anyway, because this will be taller up here and you'd be looking into the back of the suppressor. I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put a Holosun red dot on here, and then I'm going to thread on, and I'm going to go and get a silencer. I'm going to go finally do the forms and get a suppressor for this. And what's nice about it is that this suppressor that will go on here, I will also be able to put onto my Ruger Precision rimfire rifle. So I can do some, you know, target shooting, or if I wanted to dispatch a coyote really quietly, or, you know, whatever, there's a rabid raccoon in the yard or something, and you want to be able to put it down without attracting a lot of attention. You know, put a can on the 22 and you can go in the backyard and pop, pop. I don't recommend discharging firearms in your neighborhood, because that would probably be against several ordinances depending on where you live. But there might be a time when you had to actually use a firearm for something, and up close a 22 will do its job. So if you've got a suppressor on the end and you got a red dot, and you can go pop, pop, and, you know, neutralize the animal or the threat or whatever it is. I think that's kind of cool. I think it's also cool to be able to go to the range and shoot with that, just for plinking and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to unload the gun that I was carrying today just for a size comparison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing. And so what I've got is the Smith Model 637. That just happened to be what I was carrying, so we'll compare it size-wise to that. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger than that. Obviously, this is not a pocket gun, but it's not big. It's just big enough. It's about, I guess it's about the size of like an M&P Shield Plus. Might be a tiny bit longer, but it's right in that size range. And I think that this and the full sizes have been really reliable and getting good reviews. So the takedown for it, I'm going to assume, is going to be very straightforward, like a Glock. You pull that down, you dry fire it, and that should come forward and off. The spring is captive, so you have to worry about it flying across the room. You pull your barrel out, and that's it. Clean it, put it away. What it looks like is that to keep the weight down, this is an aluminum slide, and it looks like then some of the, like the breech here or whatever, I'm not sure, is that the breech? I guess you call it the breech. Anyway, this part is steel. So the rails here are metal, so it is riding metal on metal, which is good. We're gonna add a little bit of oil in there. But yeah, pretty straightforward. I think that's going to be a fun little suppressor host for plinking and anything you had to be using a firearm in an area where you had to be discreet, but you don't need a big 9mm or something like that. You just need a little 22 and put that rabid raccoon or coyote or whatever it is. You can quickly and safely put it down. So this doesn't slide all the way back. I guess what this does is it slides, and I may have to dick around with this because I haven't done this one before. I took it apart like I would any other pistol. It looks like if I pull that down, where does that go? Looks like you're going to slide it in, let's see, there. Pull that forward. Put it on. So it's a little finickier than a Glock. More finicky than a Glock, where you just pull that down and the whole thing slides forward. Here it only slides forward and then up and then back. And so you have to kind of put it back. It's not one movement of just sliding it on. It's on, down, and then back. But once you get the hang of it, that should not be that much of a problem. Take that down, pull it down on both sides. Looks like you do have to dry fire it, and then it slides forward and off. And then you slide it down and put it back on. That's actually not too bad. It slides forward and then straight up. So if I pull that down, it goes forward and up, push it on, and straight back until it clicks. Okay, that's easy. Once you figure it out, that's easy. We're learning together. We're on this journey together. So very, very nice little pistol. I've already checked. That's empty. But yeah, so I'm going to go and next time I'm over there at Georgia Gun Store, I am going to fill out the paperwork for a suppressor for this. And in the meantime, I will take these off, this off, and see what adapter plates it has. I'm looking in the features. It just says Taurus Optic Ready Option, Toro. I'll have to look through the manual or whatever online and see if I can get more information to say which one. Apparently they do sell optics for it. So there's a Taurus optic I can get. So we'll see what my options are. And then maybe I'll do a review of that. I'm not normally into optics just because I'm just using it for if it's a carry gun or something, I'm like, why add cost, weight, and a point of failure and any kind of added complexity? I know some people swear by them. Maybe if I get to a certain point where my eyes aren't so great and I'm having trouble picking up the sights, I will switch to that. But in the meantime, on a gun like this, where it's going to be a suppressor host, and I just want to go to the range and do some plinking, or go to a buddy's house and do some plinking, or use it to dispatch a pest, red dot in a can is going to be perfect. That's going to be awesome. A 22 come out of a can is going to sound like a BB gun. It's going to go click, click. And that's pretty much going to be it. So anyway, that is the new TX22 Compact. Been waiting for this guy for a while. Very glad that it is finally out. So I'll get to the range, especially once I get the red dot in the can on it. And we'll go and see how it shoots. And I have high hopes for these. Taurus makes a good gun. The TX22 has been getting really rave reviews, so I have no reason to believe that this would not also be reliable and a good shooter. So anyway, folks, trying to keep my videos under 15 minutes. We've managed to do that. So if you got any questions, any thoughts, if you already have this gun and you find out what optics work on it, or what can you suggest, I was going to go with the Sparrow, but if you guys have so many other ideas, let me know. Throw them in the comments.